Catus Maximus here, this time with a review of the Matco MT1844. This is an older, stubby 3/8" drive air ratchet. They still have the modern versions. I think they're 1859s. They are pretty spendy off the tool truck, a whole lot of money. I ended up getting this one used, and I can't believe I haven't done a review. I was just going through some of my air tools. I had some issues with my air compressor, and then was looking through and hadn't done a review of this little guy. So this is similar to the Astro 1230A, the Snap-on AT208. At least those two air ratchets use a similar head, and actually the rebuild kit for the head for that Astro and Snap-on are the very same for this Matco. I really like these stubby air ratchets. Like most air ratchets, you can loosen the top nut and adjust the position of the head, and I've kind of done that so it's a little bit more offset. I seem to find that a bit more comfortable. I haven't used this a ton, but I've used it a fair amount. The anvil really is a very tough steel. It's really been holding up well. They have like a little oiler here, so that's actually a little spring-loaded ball, and they make special little oilers, or you can just use like a little pin and then put some drops of oil, and that helps get oil right inside the ratchet mechanism. You can also put it in along the sides here, and it'll work its way in. But you really need to oil these mechanisms quite often. It is a double pawl mechanism, and actually operates pretty smoothly. Many air ratchets, the ratchet mechanism uses super tight springs, and they're very difficult to do any kind of like manual ratcheting. Say you want to break the bolt and then air ratchet out, which is a common operation. The Matco is stiff like most air ratchets, but it's not too bad. It's actually pretty decent, and I do appreciate the smoothness. Another thing that I do appreciate, people have mentioned about anvil play on some of these, and it's super tight. It's surprisingly tight, even after some wear. Even though this is actually a Taiwanese unit, this is not an American-made tool. It really is pretty nice quality. I think it has in the range of this older one is like 40 foot-pounds of torque. I think the newer ones are even torquer, maybe like 50 or something. I know that the full-size 3/8 they're advertising at upwards of 60 foot-pounds of torque. Torque is a little bit hard to quantify on air ratchets because there's a difference between the fastener being stuck and unmovable and you just pulling the trigger and how much torque it has, and this is really good. I'd say it's at least 50% stronger than the Harbor Freights. I did a review of the 1/4" and 3/8 Harbor Freights mini air ratchets. This is a lot stronger. I wouldn't say it was twice as strong, but at least 50% stronger. This has those Harbor Freights, if you're really holding it firmly and it gets stuck, you'll be able to stop it. This one is the same way, but you really need to be on it, and you think you may have it firmly and the fastener will jam, or you'll be just trying to break a bolt and it will slam your hand pretty good. It's surprising for a little air ratchet. So that's one reason for at least the little ones to really get a much higher quality one, because you really do get more power. They just, more machining, a little bit bigger air motor, tighter tolerances so they extract more energy out of the air, things like that, which all add to manufacturing costs, but do add more power. So on eBay, these tend to run around $50, and generally speaking, if you get one that's in pretty decent shape, I would pick it up. They really are some pretty nice little mini air ratchets. And I always like the mini ones. I have a standard fitting on here, but I need to get one of those swivel fittings, just because these small ones give you a lot of the power of a full-size one with just a lot more convenience and usability. They're a lot lighter weight, and of course they fit in the many tighter situations. And if you're going to have a big air ratchet, I actually did a review of that impacting air 3/8 air ratchet the Harbor Freight has. It's huge, but it has like 70 foot-pounds of torque, but the impacting mechanism, reactionless, is really awesome. So if you're going to get any kind of a full-size air ratchet, I would get, not from Harbor Freight, Ingersoll Rand, all the professional brands now have what are reactionless air ratchets. And they're really just air ratchets that have an integrated impact mechanism in them. That's what I would really get for a full size, and then get, some of these minis where you can actually use them, around an engine bay in all sorts of situations. Anyway, I'll quit blabbing. I just wanted to talk about this Matco and how it's actually, for a moderately used one. This one has really held up quite nicely so far. Haven't had any leaks. They do use a plastic cap right there for holding in the valve ball. It's gotten loose on me once, and there's a little O-ring in there that I replaced, and it hasn't given me a problem since then. Anyway, I want to get this little review up there. I think it's the only review on YouTube of one of these little old Matco air ratchets. Mini air ratchets, I should say. And I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.